Greetings and welcome to Austin, Texas Gardening. Now that it is mid-May, our fruit on this peach tree is starting to really mature here. We've got a Tex Prince peach tree with probably about 30 or 40 pieces of fruit on it, and they are really weighing down my branches. You can see here, this one branch looks like it's about to break. The fruit on it starting to become mature, but still not quite ripe yet, though it's quite blushed. These peaches aren't really ready to pick, but my tree is starting to get really heavy. And for example, from the back of these branches here, you can see how the bark is starting to split open. It's from the weight of the fruit on these branches. And so I've tied my tree up with this little cable that's attached to my string lights. And that's been working for some time, but we've got some storms rolling through this week, and I don't want my branches to break, so I thought I'd film a short video explaining how I thin my peach trees. This is what the tree looks like without the cable on it, and it's fairly obvious. Maybe if I stand back, compare it to this tree, which is not so burdened with fruit, you can see it's got a little bit of a lean to it. This tree right here is also a Tex Prince, a Texas Prince peach tree. There's some fruit kind of hidden within it. There's one pretty nice piece up at the top here. It's looking big, but we're gonna give that a little more time. The tree's been doing a lot better because it's got a lot less fruit on it. But anyway, back to this tree. As I mentioned, today I'm going to be going through picking a few pieces of fruit off of this tree. Not really to eat. These pieces of fruit aren't really mature, but we want to give the branch a little less weight here. So the qualities I'm looking for are fruits in irregular places, like here at the end of this branch. See the weight it lifted off the tree when I took that fruit off. There's nothing really wrong with this fruit. I mean, it's got this kind of unusual deformity, but no real blemishes. What I'm really looking for is stuff like this. So in this cluster, you can see these two pieces at the bottom have several blemishes. When I pull them off, it's going to be a real relief to that branch. Maybe not anything to even make that substantial of a difference, but while that one piece of fruit can go to maturity, these three cannot all make it together. And you can hear the sound they make when I throw them in my dish there. They sound like stones because they're not mature. They're very firm. And I've been really surprised with this tree. I kind of showed this tree off in my spring garden tour video. I'm surprised I got so much fruit from it because it bloomed last fall. And I was really thinking with the early bloom, it wasn't going to get adequately pollinated. I was expecting whatever fruit that wound up being on here would be immature and unattractive, but got multiple really large pieces of fruit. So I don't know how many I'm going to pull in total. I'm going for kind of these runts of the litter and anything with a blemish on it. What we want to save are the majority of the unblemished fruits. And sometimes these pests will bore holes in them. Anything like that we're taking off. Last year I had a big problem with sparrows coming and pecking holes in my fruit. And this year, thanks to my owl, my little scarecrow there, I've got way too much fruit. So I want to be very discretionary with the fruit that I'm taking off of this tree, but this tree isn't even the worst, if you can believe it. We're going to take a look at another one on the other side of my yard that's not looking great. And I might comb over this afterwards, because even now, I still don't like the lean that this tree has to it. I'm hoping it'll stand up a little more straight. I know there's going to be some lean. I might even tie it back up, but I just don't want it having... We're not going to pull anything off of the side that it's not leaning towards. I'm just looking for branches that are suspicious, or like this piece of fruit up here, up top. I mean, even these two pieces don't look that bad. There's some blemishes here, but I'm sure this would turn out fine. That's not like mildew or anything. I think bugs have just been picking at these. I'm seeing another one over here. Oh, whoops. Dropped one there. So again, this is what I've kind of picked off. Blemished, immature, obviously not ripe. Peaches won't sound like that when they are ripe. I could go for some of these clusters down here, but for right now, I think I'm going to just do this. I might prune. It's not the right term. I might thin out a few more peaches off camera. Got one right here. This one's probably fine to leave. I know it's contributing to the lean of the tree, but the branch it's on is pretty light. This is the branch I've been worried about the most. I should probably grab a few of these down here, but oh, like right here, kind of hard to see that there. Looks like something just got to this one. And again, like, this thing is pretty tough. Not really something that's ready to eat. These are going to be ready to pick probably in the next couple of weeks, maybe early June. I think I did my first round of peach tree harvests last year. Kind of late May, early June. But this year it's a lot less sun. This is Mother's Day, May 12th. We've had nonstop storms, which is great. The rain is great. The blackberries doing solid, looking good. Got a whole ton load of fruit there, but this tree right here is the one that's, I'm worried for it. So I've got a total of six or seven peach trees in my backyard. We've got these two runts that aren't doing too great. Those two over there that are doing awesome. This little newbie in the corner, and this guy. This one right here is a Royal Zest 2 peach tree, and you can see from the lean on it, it's pretty problematic. Nothing's broken yet, but look at some of these clusters. Like, these are honestly, they're not even ripe. Yeah, still kind of firm. 4 or 5 clusters on here. Like, I'm lucky these haven't broken yet. And some of them looking like that. Like, this is not going to go on to maturity. If it does, I'm not sure if a sparrow or wasp is responsible. There's definitely going to be mildew on that. Anything, even a mild blemish at this point, normally I would leave something like this on the tree. But with the amount that we have, this is even, yeah, just lost one there. This is even hard to pick because how large they are. I saw, oh, here's another interesting sign. That bird poop there, that is my warning that the birds are not scared of my owl. They figured out that that is not actually alive, and that they're welcome to come do their business here. Again, these 2 peaches of fruit, they look great. I wish I could have left them. It pains me because growing peach trees in my backyard has been one of my goals since I started this YouTube channel, and you've been watching it for a while, you'll know that I've succeeded several years now. But in order to keep my trees healthy over the long run, it doesn't do me any benefit to have damaged pieces of fruit like this. And the pieces of fruit that I want to survive don't have to compete for nutrients when we thin them out a little bit. So what's left looks pretty solid. Trying to make sure my camera angle's good here. I mean, once again, these are large pieces of fruit. I'm not doing justice because I'm actually looking at the tree, trying to keep my angle strong. But you can see critters. I'm not sure if those are bunny rabbit teeth, sparrow beak, something's getting in there. Not really dealing with wasps this year, dealing with just other types of predators. And even now, the tree's still got a heavy lean to it. I might have to stake this one down, but I'm really pleased with this tree. All of this growth up here, this wood that's kind of greenish reddish, this is where all of our peaches are going to be next year. Our branches are really spreading out in a good way, getting a little tall, closing in on maybe 6.5, 7 feet here. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm not necessarily going to do much pruning as far as the branches are concerned. We're just pulling down some fruit today. It's kind of like a dead man's harvest. None of this stuff we're going to actually eat. We just want to make sure the tree's diverting its nutrients towards the fruit that actually has a chance of developing without blemishes. Cull. Yeah, stuff like this, that's exactly what we're looking for. That's going to be a producer in the future. And I've got to be careful with these trees because now that these pieces of fruit are really starting to mature, they're going to have peach pits in them. And we've got a sweet little dog who I don't want her to try eating this fruit, as these pits are something she can choke on. So if you're trying to grow these trees yourself, just be aware of that. Your pets might try to eat the fruit. That can be a problem. But I think for today, again, I might just stake this one down. I'm liking what's left. The fruit that is here, I don't really want to further thin. And man, the fruit's so heavy, even now. This tree's still, I want it to stand up a little bit more, but I'm going to take a few steps back here. She's still definitely leaning over, which is okay. It's not a big deal. Now that it's a little bit lighter, I feel better about it. I mean, we've already had some pretty big storms this year and hasn't broken anything yet, but I almost have a full bowl. You know, this has got to be at least 2 or 3 pounds of fruit that it's no good. And it's not even like I can make jam or something with it because it's just not ripe. And it's not going to ripen on my counter. I've really just got to throw it out. I don't know if anybody has a use for the fruit that you cull. But if you have any ideas of what I could do with it, let me know. And it's nice to finally have some mature fruit trees in the backyard. I've got this fig tree as well, but we don't really do any type of pruning or culling with this. I mean, it's just the second year it's been in my yard. The fruit that's on it, these figs, are super light, so it's not something I would worry about. And there are some good pieces of fruit on it. There are some blemished fruits, but once again, like, the benefit of removing these seems to be pretty minimal because of the low weight. They're not really weighing on the branches or anything like that. Fig tree's doing awesome. But we're going to keep an eye on this. Stay tuned. Should be doing another garden tour, maybe a fruit tree harvest over the next couple of weeks.